everybody, this is Erin from TaroWorks, and welcome to the 5th installment of the TaroWorks Field Mapping series. Today we're going to examine how to update existing records in Salesforce using TaroWorks. If you haven't watched the previous videos in the series, I recommend at least starting with the terms and overview content. The Aquacomb scenario for today is that we've registered members in previous years, and we want our mobile users to go back out to the field and ensure that the member information we have on file is correct. If it's not, then we'd like them to update it using TaroWorks. Just a quick reminder of the object structure in the Aquacomb instance. The parent-most object in the object level at which we're doing mobile record assignment is a region, which is a parent of WellSite, which is a parent of the WellSite member. For today's scenario, we are going to use tools to bring data out of Salesforce, including references for the WellSite and WellSite member, and additionally, the existing data in the system that we'd like to update. So let's go ahead and dive into Salesforce. We already have our survey questions defined for the information we'd like our mobile users to verify, and that includes the first name, last name, and the phone number. Let's take a look at our field mapping. We're going to be dealing with two objects for this scenario, the WellSite and the WellSite member. We'll review in a moment why the WellSite object is necessary. Now let's cover the three field mapping levers for each of these objects. The three levers are the ID field. If it's left blank, it will create new. If it's populated, it will attempt to do an upsert, which is a combination between update and insert, depending on whether or not that ID value is found for the records in that object. The isReference object checkmark box. If it's checked, then the system knows that this record is just being used as a reference. It's not being updated in any way. This allows us to provide only an ID for that record rather than having to provide all the required fields on that object. And finally, the set relationship link. This is what will connect the related records. For the WellSite object, we do want to populate the ID field because we want to reference an existing WellSite in the system. It's also going to be a reference object since we're not updating any information about the WellSite. In order to populate the ID field, the ID needs to be mapped as a response to a survey question. The ID field also needs to be the name field for the object or set to be a unique external identifier. Now for the WellSite member object. For the ID field, we do want to populate it. If we left it blank, it would create new WellSite members with the information in this column. It's not going to be a reference object, however, because we are updating information about our WellSite member record. To populate the ID field, the ID needs to be the response and mapped to a survey question. Finally, we want to set the relationship link between the WellSite member and the WellSite. The reason we need to provide the WellSite as a reference is because it's a required field on the WellSite member object. This is because it's a parent-child relationship called a master detail relationship, where the parent is always required. Since this is not a reference object, when we provide the ID in the ID field, the system is going to try to do an upsert. The system will look for a member record with that ID. If it can find one, it'll update it or overwrite it with the new information provided. If it can't, it will create new. So in order for the system to be prepared to create a new WellSite member, it's going to ask that all the required fields for that object be provided, including the WellSite. Now we just need to map the rest of the questions. And click Save. If the mobile user does not need to update a particular piece of information, they can just skip the question and the values that are existing in the database will remain the same. Now we're ready to publish a survey. Now let's create a new job to push that survey to the device. Click New Job. Give the job a name. Add optional instructions. Now we're going to add a drill-down hierarchy to expose the well site and well site member information we need for our survey. We're going to name our drill-down hierarchy what the end goal is of the selections in each menu. We want to, at the last level, select the well site member that you're updating information for. However, the highest level object in our drill-down is going to be the region. So the mobile user will first select the region based on the region's names. Then they'll select the well site based on the well site name. And we're also going to want to expose some of this data for use in the survey with information like well site name, well number, which we need for our task mapping, and maybe other information like soil type or status. We're going to click Save. And then finally, we're going to have the mobile user select the well site member for which they'd like to update information. Again, for each level, only the child objects of the previously selected parent object will be listed. Probably want to select from a list of full names of the well site members. And then we can expose additional information about the well site member to the mobile user. As a side note, you can also add what are called drill-down hierarchy filters to each level. Drill-down hierarchy filters allow you to limit the records that are displayed based on certain conditions. For example, we may only want to display well site members that have not been visited this month. And finally, we need to add a task. It's going to be a collect data task for updating member information. Select the survey that we just published. And we'd want to add a task mapping. So from the exposed data, we'd want to pull in the well site ID and the member ID. The reason the well site member ID is not listed here is because it hasn't been exposed on the well site member of the drill-down hierarchy. So let's go back and add that. And we want the well site member ID value from the record selected in the drill down to be pre-populated into the survey question called member ID. Now we're going to go ahead and click Save, publish the job, and assign it to our test user. Now we're going to sync on the device. So now we can start the job. We can click on Update Member Information and go ahead and enter the task. As you can see in the drill-down hierarchy, we're going to select a region, a well site, and a well site member. Let's say we're working in the Northwest region, back at that Northwest 53 well site, and we are going to update Aaron Yamaoka's information. So let's say his first name is actually spelled incorrectly, and we have no phone number on file. So after selecting the member we want to update, we're going to enter the survey. The well site and member ID are going to be pre-populated for us based on the task mapping. And the first name I want to be updated AARON. Last name looked good though, it was spelled correctly. There is actually no phone number on file in Salesforce, so we're going to enter a phone number for Aaron. And sync that into the system. So because of mobile record assignment, we have regions assigned to us. And all of the child records of those regions automatically get synced to the device every time the mobile user clicks sync. So we could go into Salesforce and validate our updates to that record. We could also just re-enter the job. So if I go to update member information again, and navigate back to Aaron, we should be able to see her updates in the system. So the first name has been changed to AARON, and the phone number on file now is 10/9. So this mobile user experience could actually be improved. When I am looking at this screen, it would be helpful for me to be able to see in the same view what the existing first name and last name are in Salesforce, as well as the existing phone number. So I can do that with task mapping. Since we're going to be making changes to our task mapping, let's go ahead and clone our survey. And let's call this survey Update Member Information with current information listed. And we're going to go into our question builder and add questions to show the existing data. So before updated first name, we'll have first name on file. And before updated last name, we'll also have a question for the last name on file. And finally, we'll do the same for the phone number. And we actually don't need to make any changes to our field mapping. We don't need to map any of the questions we just added because we don't want those values to be written back to the record. If there are updates, we want the questions that were already mapped to be written back to the fields in the WellSite member record. Okay, so now we're going to save and publish the survey. We'll go to the job and clone the job that we had previously. We'll call it Update Information 2. And for the well site, we're going to pull in the well number to use as a reference. And for the well site member, we're going to pull in the first name, last name, and phone number as well using task mapping. So we're going to go back to our task, use our new survey. We're going to pull in the well site number as the ID to reference the well site. We're going to pull in the well site member ID to reference the member that we're updating. And then we're also going to pass in the existing information on file. So for that well site member, the first name can be displayed in the first name on file. Also from the well site member record that's selected by the mobile user, we'll grab the last name and display that in the last name on file survey question. And finally, for the well site member selected, we're going to grab the phone number out of Salesforce and display it in a survey question. Again, these last three are being passed into survey questions that are not field mapped back into Salesforce. Their counterparts, updated phone number, updated last name, and updating first name, are actually the survey questions that would write to the database. Okay, so let's go ahead and save, publish this job, and assign it to our test mobile user. Now let's sync this job to the mobile device. And let's see how the mobile user's experience has improved. So we'll go to Jobs. As we walk through the job, I'll go back to the job that we configured in Salesforce so we can see what configurations controlled what in the mobile user experience. So again, Update Member Information 2 is the name of the job as defined in Job Name under the job in Salesforce. Once I select the job and New Job, the list of tasks will be displayed, which we only have one, Update Member Info, which we defined on the task here in the title. Then we also have some instructions on a job level. We click on the Instructions button. You can see I have written, you can skip survey questions that do not require an update. So if we look at the instructions I have listed here, that's where that's driven from. And now ready to start the job. The title of the drill down hierarchy is Select a Well Site Member as defined here in the name of the drill down hierarchy. And each of the objects that we're going to traverse are listed from top to bottom: region, well site member, also listed from left to right underneath the drill down hierarchy title. The object that we're currently selecting a record from is underlined in this hierarchy. So we're being displayed a list of regions, and that is controlled by mobile record assignment. If I go to my mobile user record for Erin, I can see that there are 5 regions that have been assigned to her: Amber City East, West, Carrotville, Northeast, and Northwest, as listed here. If I select the Northwest region, you can see now the well site object is underlined. The only child record in that region is Northwest 53. If I wanted to look at any detail fields for that record, I could click on this piece of paper icon and see the well site name, well number, soil type, and status. Those are the detail fields as defined here. And again, the drill down hierarchy is just exposing information to the mobile user. Now, if I select that well site record, I have 3 members to choose from in that well site. And let's say I want to update information about Erin. For the last level in the drill down hierarchy, I'm automatically displayed all of the detail fields: first name, last name, phone, date of birth, and member ID, as listed here. Also in each of these levels, the field value that represents each record was defined on the field that's displayed on the drill down. And for this level, we chose the well site member's name. So once I select the member record and enter my survey, you can see some fields are pre-populated for me. This is controlled by task mapping. If we go back to our task and click edit, I can see I've passed in 5 different values from the drill down hierarchy. The well site number and member ID for references as to which records we're dealing with in Salesforce, and then a few pieces of data that are just informational and helpful to the field officer in the survey. However, those 3 values are not getting written back to the database. That is controlled by field mapping. So again, if I look at my field mapping for this survey, the questions that I'm pre-populating, first name on file, last name on file, and phone number on file, are not mapped to any fields in the well site member object. They're just for display purposes only. So now I can see right in a single view, the current name that we have on file in Salesforce is spelled Aaron. But let's say that's actually mistaken. The correct spelling is Erin, and I want to overwrite that. Yamaoka looks good, it's spelled correctly. So if we go to the next screen, this particular well site member has lost her SIM, and now she has a new phone number. So we're going to update that as well. And sync those updates into the system. So now let's validate Erin's information got updated by re-entering the job. Go back to that same record in the drill down hierarchy. You can see her spelling of her name was updated and her phone number as well. So you can improve the user experience of your mobile users by pulling data out of Salesforce and having them use it directly in their survey, even if it's for display purposes only. And that's it. So in summary, we've talked about some terms and tools we use in field mapping. We went through an example where we created new records in Salesforce. We went through another example where we created new related records in Salesforce, so a new parent record and a new child record in the same survey. We also covered an example where we created many new child records, but for an existing parent record in Salesforce. And finally, we just reviewed how you'd update existing records. I hope this field mapping series has been helpful to you, but should you still have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for watching and have a great day.